Hello and welcome. My name is Laura Jansen, and I'm a sales executive with ADP. I run a team of consultants who focus on human capital management technology, automation, process improvement, and employee engagement. And it's always good to be sharing time with the MACPA. I'm excited today to talk to you about the power of diversity, equity, and inclusion and how it can help you grow your and your clients' businesses. Many companies are continuing to lag when it comes to creating a more diverse and ethnically and racially inclusive organization. And this is despite numerous initiatives being put in place to help combat this exact issue. While companies, at least outwardly, agree on the importance of diversity across the organization, the available data shows that women and minorities are still drastically underrepresented when it comes to moving up the corporate ranks. Women and women of color especially fall behind in representation as these levels increase. And despite decades of pushing for wage equality, women and minorities are still lagging behind the pay of their white male colleagues in similar roles. Take, for example, white men who enter the workforce at about a 35% representation, yet they represent 68% of all C-suite and executive roles. So companies' consideration of diversity, equity, and inclusion, it's important not just on the basis of value, but there's also material impact on their long-term performance and success. Numerous studies have shown that there's a clear correlation between companies that have a strong diversity, equity, and inclusion program and business success. A recent study by McKinsey shows that gender diverse companies are 15% more likely to outperform their peers. Ethnically diverse companies are 35% more likely to do the same. And in the United States, for every 10% increase within the leadership team for diversity, there's an increase in earnings of 0.8%. Based on a 2019 Gartner Diversity and Inclusion study, which is shown here on the slide, the majority of diversity and inclusion leaders said that they weren't effective at building a diverse workforce or at fostering an inclusive work environment, or even at developing a diverse and inclusive leadership bench and management team. It's scary, there's still a long way to go. However, organizations that do this well are going to perform better and are better positioned to both attract and retain quality employees. McKinsey looked at companies in the top quartile for diversity versus those in the bottom. And 21% of gender diverse companies were more likely to outperform those in the bottom quartile, and 33% of ethnically diverse companies were more likely to outperform their peers. This is important for three reasons. First, diverse teams, they tend to have a wider range of perspectives, which add to a company's competitiveness, especially in this globalized economy. Second, better performance, it's also the ability to attract and retain top talent. Exceptional talent comes from all backgrounds, and it is by definition diverse. And then finally, these teams also improve a company's global image and their license to operate. Prospective clients want to know, what is your diversity brand and what are you doing around corporate social responsibility? So let's take a look at another study, smart guys over at Harvard. Harvard Business Review did a 2018 study on diverse perspectives with innovation. And according to their study, companies with greater diversity also derive higher revenue from newer products than those with less diverse companies. The study looked at various dimensions of diversity, including gender, education, age, and industry, and found that organizations who leverage all aspects of diversity produce up to a 19% higher product revenue. Which brings me to this quote that I just love from Linda Hill at Harvard Business School. So she says, "You do not get innovation generally without diversity and conflict. Creative abrasion. To get the ideas out there, they must abrade against one another. You want to amplify the differences in your organization, not minimize them." So by coming together with employees from all backgrounds, walks of life, ethnic, racial, and social diversity, you're bound to get the best representation of the client base that you're serving, the best ideas flowing forward, and the most buy-in to put those into effect. So talking about diversity, it can be challenging for organizations, and implementing an organizational-wide change can sometimes feel insurmountable. In fact, according to Gartner, only 36% of D&I leaders report that their organization has been effective when it comes to building a diverse workforce. The same study also revealed that about 80% of organizations are rating themselves as ineffective when developing a diverse and inclusive leadership bench. 2019 Gartner study showed that 57% of organizations are using organizational inclusion as a metric to track their diversity and inclusion efforts. And only 65% of diversity and inclusion leaders say that they even consider diverse talent succession as a metric for tracking progress. It makes it hard to know where you're going when you don't know where you are. And with that, there's still a long way for companies to go. But having a strong DEI program with the right data, the right tools, best practices, and resources, it can make all the difference when it comes to achieving goals your organization has. And this is where ADP is coming in. So how do the best companies show up when it relates to diversity and inclusion? So good companies, they're going to establish a D&I function, and they're going to get data and inform their leaders about where they see areas of opportunity. Better companies, they're going to take that function and that data, and they're going to develop a comprehensive strategy that puts in place different accountability measures, different KPIs, benchmarking standards to assess their progress. But those best organizations, they're going to extend their diversity and inclusion efforts outside of the organization and focus in on things like talent acquisition, development, performance, and innovation in order to create a culture of belonging. Leadership drives performance and innovation through employee growth, belonging, and connection. And as a global company, ADP and its associates, we embody an award-winning inclusive culture that extends beyond the traditional employee engagement approach. And to support our clients, we've developed programming and tool sets to assist with you in raising the bar within your own workforce. So our first goal is to remain a top company when it comes to diversity. In the last 10 years, we've moved from number 49 to number 4 on Div Inc.'s top 50 list. Second, we want to create an inclusive and engaging culture where our differences are acknowledged, appreciated, and celebrated. And this will be how we attract and retain our top talent. And then finally, we're going to continue to leverage diversity and inclusion to help grow our reputation and market share by driving human capital management solutions, leveraging that D&I lens through our technology. So at ADP, both internally and with our own clients, we've recognized that there are 4 steps to building a successful diversity and inclusion program: alignment, awareness, execution, and evaluation. And as you look to improve your representation, it's important that you align your goals with the company's overall mission, value, and strategy. This will help ensure that all of your leaders are on the same page when it comes time for execution. The second is the understanding of your current state and knowing what gaps exist within your workforce. These may show up as a lack of representation in leadership positions, pay inequity, or biased talent sourcing. You're going to need to continue to keep visibility on your workforce in order to see progression within your goals. And as that rubber meets the road, it's important to have strong resources and best practices that you're able to leverage. Attending webinars, having conversations with colleagues and business leaders, they'll expose you and your company to the broadest set of tools and resources to make the execution manageable. The leadership team will likely need a playbook to help guide them as you begin to roll out this new strategy. Implementing a learning management program, that can help with some of the internal development and awareness, especially within your current leadership team. Evaluating your different hiring resources, that can help you uncover new qualified talent pools and will help drive the representation within your organization. And like any good corporate strategy, you'll want to continue to monitor and assess your progress, making the tweaks and changes as needed. And at ADP, we're remaining lockstep with our clients, providing best-in-class tools and data to help support their growth. As a business, you need to see the current state of your DE&I within the organization, and that means having transparency into your workforce demographics. A clear view of your current state is going to highlight where those opportunities exist for growth. To cultivate the executive buy-in and create an action plan that makes recommendations that are grounded within accurate data is going to be key. The ADP Data Cloud is now offering a diversity, equity, and inclusion dashboard that's providing easy to use and convenient data without a costly implementation and a rapid time to value. The dashboard's providing simple turnkey analytics around your workforce composition, hiring practices, turnover, leadership positions, recruitment funnel, and more to help you better understand how your own organization looks. With this dashboard, you can gain visibility into your composition of workers, filter it out by race, ethnicity, gender, or protected class to see exactly how you measure up. Using the insights from the data to understand the different diversity gaps will help drive discussions with your leader. The dashboard is going to equip you with a guided experience to help answer the most common questions that management may have, like how diverse is my workforce? How diverse is my leadership? What areas of my organization are not diverse? And what termination reasons are affecting my diversity the most? Questions that may not be commonplace in the organization today, but by taking a focus on and looking through a D&I lens can ultimately strengthen the entire employee base that you have. And finally, ADP, with its HR outsourcing, we're preparing ourselves to be the go-to resource for small and mid-sized businesses to help create diversity, equity, and inclusion strategies that drive positive change within their organization. And what we know so far is that DEI has been an important topic with our clients. In fact, 1 out of 5 ADP's HR outsourcing clients are looking for more human and social conversation starters in order to address these efforts within their organization. 3 out of 4 of our HR outsourcing clients are currently working with ADP for diversity, equity, and inclusion assistance. And then 4 out of 5 of our HR outsourcing businesses have released statements on the topic of racial injustice. Our clients are coming to us with questions around navigating DEI in today's environment. They're asking us things like, what changes should we be making as an organization to become more diverse? How do I create a culture that promotes diversity, equity, and inclusion? And how do I connect with more diverse candidates? So I ask you, if you've had any clients that have been asking you these questions or wondering where to start, the answer is ADP can help. In addition to the dashboard and the tools we're providing to our direct clients, we're releasing a slew of resources for you, our accounting professionals and partners. One of our best is our newest HRpreneur podcast, which will help you understand the different types of safety and workplace responsibilities that you have. It's expanding outside of just DEI and touching on items like return to work, which all of our clients are dealing with now, and how to handle the most common COVID questions that are still arising, especially with the return to work that's going on. So for any of you that are here with us today, any questions that you or your clients have, please feel free to reach out to myself or to Deb Zengel, who many of you know and have worked with for many years. Thank you so much for your time today. I look forward to continuing the conversation.